live on the air. I'm Richard Saile.
This is wild.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Loungetime. I'm your host, Richard Saile. We start Thanksgiving football tomorrow. And I can't wait to debut this episode because we got some good stuff to talk about today. Chief Bandwagons, I'm in a good mood to roast you guys today. Oh boy, you guys look bad. Get ready, because this is one of the good times of Loungetime when I get to absolutely roast you Chief Bandwagons because you guys are so nauseating, toxic, and it's like, when y'all lose, I win. And this is like my week, man. All right? Now, guys, we're going over 6 games today as part of our recap segment, and then we're going to pick into the games for tomorrow starting on Thanksgiving Day. Yes, we're picking everything. Thanksgiving games today. We're picking Black Friday game. We're picking Sunday's action and the Monday night games. We're picking everything. So there will be no tweets coming out on X tomorrow for the Thursday games. I'm doing everything today. Figuring to get everything done. And then you guys will probably see me maybe in the back half of next week. All right? All right. So let's go over the some of the Week 11 action between the Steelers and the Browns. I did watch this game. This was a tough one to watch, unless you like defense. And if you like defense, hey, good for you. Steelers-Browns. Kenny Pickett. I've been high on him. I think he could be a really good quarterback in this league. He didn't play well this game. He did not play well this game. 15 of 28, 106 yards. That's not good, man. That's not good. Jaylen Warren, 9 carries, 129 yards, and a touchdown. This dude is getting more and more touches every week in the Steelers' offense. And I think after this game, I'm wondering why is he not getting more touches with the ball? Because this dude is a very elusive, dynamic runner that provides that spark plug for the Steelers. I think that obviously Najee's your bell cow running back, but Warren should be getting a little more touches to kind of get some, screens here and there, which he did, some plays out of the backfield. I don't know why they don't use him more, but I'm glad this game he had a big bounce back game. He did good for me in fantasy. A couple other people we'll talk about later, they fucking sold. But he wasn't one of them. He was the opposite. He actually did amazing. Offensive line, 3 sacks allowed. Defense, 13 points allowed, 1 sack, an interception. Hey, they did their job, all right? Except for the last drive of the game. But it's very hard to say the defense didn't do their job when they don't have an offense that can help capitalize and reward how good they've been playing. That's just been the Steelers, okay? Now, before I get into kind of the third down, the red zone, and the penalties, I was talking to somebody that told me that he doesn't think Kenny Pickett's the answer, and a couple of other things, too, that went into it. I won't disclose all of that, but my answer was, and this is a fair point I'm actually going to bring up here. I told him, I said, be a little patient with the development process. What I think we're getting used to a little too much is a lot of the instant success with quarterbacks in today's game, right? Especially when they're really, really young, right? We're seeing it this year with C.J. Stroud. We're seeing it this year. I mean, we're seeing it in this era with Burrow. His second year leads the Bengals to a Super Bowl. Mahomes leads, the Chiefs to an AFC Championship and wins an MVP in the same year. We're seeing it, we saw it a little bit with Josh Allen with Buffalo, but it took him about 3-4 years to really, grow. But as far as instant success, I'm referring kind of my era really with, Burrow, Mahomes, CJ Stroud. I would even include guys a little bit, before that, like Russell Wilson had instant success. Andrew Luck did take his team to the playoffs. RG3 won the division, Rookie of the Year. And I would even go as far back as to Big Ben in 2004. He took his team to the AFC Championship game that year. But my point is that not every quarterback falls in that 1 to 2 year where they just immediately blossom and immediate success happens. We've got to stop thinking everybody's going to be that. I know this is the modern day NFL where everybody wants to see if they got something with a quarterback and this guy, is he him? Is he it? But we've got something that's been lost in the shadows a little bit. Some guys need 3, 4, 5 years to develop before they become the best version of what we knew we could see coming out of the draft or what we know that player X could be. And I'll give you examples about a couple guys that, blossomed. Josh Allen was the one where, he came out, I want to say it was 2018. It took him 3 years to really have instant success with Buffalo. How about Peyton Manning? I know he won the division, in his second year, but he really didn't become the prime Peyton Manning until his 5th year in the league. Troy Aikman got drafted in 1989. He didn't blossom until year 4 when the Cowboys really took off. Okay? Elway took a couple years, to really blossom. I think he took about 3 years to get his team to a Super Bowl, right? So my point is that we have to kind of stop thinking that every quarterback that comes out is going to be instant success. Oh, we expect too much of them, which is true. We actually, I think, expect a little too much out of the first 1 to 2 years. We have to pump the brakes a little bit and understand not everybody's, situation and story are equal, okay? Where they're just going to have immediate success and, oh, yeah, they're going to take this team to the Super Bowl their first year. No. That's not everybody, okay? That's not. So my point to him was, my friend, was that give him 3 to 5 years. If he doesn't show you anything that makes you feel like that he's the franchise guy, the organization will probably have to make a quarterback change, okay? And, that's something they're going to have to figure out. I mean, look at my team this year. I mean, I thought he was really, my guy was good his rookie season, and then we did a couple dumb things to, regress him, and now there's talk of us moving on from him already. Which, that's why I'm saying not every situation is created equal. Not everybody's guaranteed instant success. If you do, hey, it's amazing. But that's the problem I think we have too as societies. We want instant success from rookie quarterbacks, and that's where, I have to bring this point up because I brought it up to him on a conversation with him where I said, Kenny Pickett's not going to be what Stroud is right now, what Mahomes did his second year, what Burrow did his second year. He's just not. He's going to need about 3 to 5 years to really learn this game and process it at the NFL level. And maybe he might become the guy that a lot of people think, people thought he could be a really good, quarterback in this league. But it takes time. It took Peyton Manning time. It took Troy Aikman time. It took Elway time. It took Josh Allen time. Okay? Just be patient, okay? Not everybody, goes in perfect situation, okay? Back to the game. 3 of 14 on third down. Not very good. 0 of 1 in the red zone. That's a big difference when you lose by 1 score. 6 penalties. And they fired Matt Canada after the game. We kind of saw this coming, man. We kind of saw this coming. they were struggling to score. And, you know, I think Tomlin had to make this move to save the locker room. That's what everybody was saying. Because if Tomlin didn't make this move, the locker room would have been really, really bad. So props to Mike Tomlin for making this move. He had to make this move. Now the question is, can the Steelers offense get better in time to make a late run come December, come January? They've got a nice schedule, but now they got to put up. Now they got to put up some points and make a run, man. All right, because we know what the defense can do. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, 24-43, 165 yards and interception. Jerome Ford had a rushing touchdown. Elijah Moore, 6 catches, 60 yards. And Njoku, 7 for 56. This is surprising because Amari Cooper didn't really have the best game, and other guys are stepping up for them. Defense, 10 points allowed, 3 sacks, no takeaways. Myles Garrett is looking like a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Oh my God. I mean, first play I saw him, he does like a little inside swim move in the backfield, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah, he wants that Defensive Player of the Year award. He wants to elevate not only his team, but he wants to elevate his game to a different level. And I thought, he was right on that Defensive Player of the Year window a couple years before, but Micah Parsons was doing well. Nick Bosa won it last year. This might be his year to do it. This might be his year to do it. I forgot TJ Watt 2 years ago. This might be Myles Garrett's year, man. I mean, it really, really might be his year. He's had some unbelievable games this season. This might be Myles Garrett's Defensive Player of the Year. The one missed opportunity was the interception they had in Pittsburgh territory, but they were able to recover, getting the game-winning field goal. 4-17 on third down. That's pretty bad. 1 for 3 in the red zone. Sloppy, but they got the win. Now, again, they're going to have to really hope that if it's P.J. Walker or DTR, can they hold the fourth down to hold a playoff spot? I'm looking at the outside scope of the AFC. I'm going, if Buffalo ever can figure some things out, Denver's hot right now. The Colts are not a bad 5-5 team. I don't know. I mean, yeah, the record says, 7-3. They're doing pretty good. They are, and they know what they are. I just don't know if they can hold on that long, even with that good of a defense that they have. Hopefully they can, but I don't see it. I don't see it. Vegas Raiders, Miami Dolphins. Aiden O'Connell, 24-41, 271 yards, a touchdown, 3 picks. Did not play well. I can't wait to get to the missed opportunities for this game. Devontae Adams, 7 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. He beat triple coverage on that touchdown. My goodness. Oh, my God. Defense, 20 points allowed, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 sack, an interception. Hey, in today's NFL, that's not bad. 20 points. I mean, if you had an offense, I would say it's, you did just enough. They had no offense because their quarterback sucks. Why am I surprised, though? It's the Raiders. It's just who they are. Let's get to the missed opportunities. I mean, oh my God. We have a lot. Interception early in the game. Turnover on downs. Missed out some points. Interception again in Miami territory, and another interception in Miami territory. Turnovers will kill you in games. How so many people forget that the little things matter in football. The Raiders just can't do the little things. I just keep saying it. I don't know what more. Now, I like Antonio Pierce as the interim coach. I think he's going to do great things if Mark Davis actually gives him a chance. I think he's done a great job with this team, guiding him back in the right direction after the horrible job Josh McDaniels did. He's seeking out, advice from Tom Coughlin on how to run a team. I think that's always a great thing when, you go to a Hall of Fame coach and, you poke his, you poke around and see what you have to do. You poke his mind a little bit, and you see all right, how do you run a team? How do you do this? And I like that Antonio Pierce is doing that. I think that's a sign of somebody that really wants to make the most of his opportunity and take advantage of this. And I think that's a sign of somebody that, he's trying to find a way to build a team. He cares about this. if I'm Mark Davis, I want to see how he does, the end of the year. I hope, if he actually, can make them competitive, I hope he gets a chance because I think he deserves a shot, But I'm glad Antonio Pierce went to Tom Coughlin because, you want to, go to your, boss and, pick his brain a little bit and see, how do you write a team and change the culture. And Tom Coughlin's won 2 Super Bowls. He's done a great job in this league as head coach for Jacksonville, the Giants, So I hope Antonio Pierce does well with the Raiders. I hope he makes the most of his opportunity because he deserves an opportunity to, be a head coach. I think he's done a great job so far. 4-14 on third down, 0-2 on fourth down. Yeah, that's not good. 0-1 in the red zone, big difference in a 1-score game. 3 turnovers and 5 penalties. This is who the Raiders are. They turn the ball over. They commit a bunch of penalties. Not this game, though, but turnovers hurt them. Red zone 0 for 1. They can't convert on third. They can't do the little things. Why are we surprised? All right? They need a smart football people in that building. Maybe Jim Harbaugh goes to Vegas and turns them around? I mean, if they're not sold on Antonio Pierce, I don't know. But I would give Antonio Pierce the end of the year to finish it out. If he does well, I would give him the chance. If he doesn't do well, Jim Harbaugh might be their best bet. Which brings me to Miami. Tua, 28 of 39, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick. He did all right. This team, I always say, I'm waiting for that good team for Tua to beat where I go, all right, that's a big step. But don't give me the Raiders. Do not give me them as a good team yet. Stop. I don't classify them as a good team. Raheem Mostert, 22 carries, 86 yards. Tyreek Hill, 10 catches, 146 yards, and a touchdown. Salvin Ahmed, had a receiving touchdown. The defense really won them this game, let's be real. 13 points allowed, 2 sacks, 3 interceptions, 2 of them by Jalen Ramsey, 1 by Xavier Howard. Miami was just very sloppy on offense. Fumble, backed up in their territory, led to a Raiders field goal. Turnover on downs, passing up on points. Not surprised, Mike McDaniel likes to get Q. Fumble, interception, missed field goal. Miami looks sloppy in this game against a team that I don't think is really that good. And you only won by 7? Yeah. You might win the division by default, but, hey, whoever gets that top wildcard spot in the AFC, if Miami ends up being the 4 seed, I might lean that 5 seed over Miami. I'm not sold on Tua making a very serious noise in the playoffs. I'm not. I know the other skill position guys I'm sold on. I'm not sold on Tua, though. No way. 3 of 11 on third down. Not good. 3 turnovers. Not good. 5 penalties. This was a sloppy win for Miami that they got away with. And I will say this Jets defense is going to make it tough on Tua, but you're lucky you're playing Tim Boyle. You're so lucky you're playing Tim Boyle because Tim Boyle, let's be honest, I'm not making a lot of him, okay? So, again, not surprised this is what I'm not surprised with this team at all whatsoever. Bears and the Lions. Justin Fields came back for the first time in a couple weeks. 16-23, 169 yards passing, touchdown, through the air. 18 carries, 104 yards on the ground. I thought he played pretty well for his first game back. I thought he played pretty well, impacted both the passing and the running game. Deontay Foreman had a rushing touchdown. DJ Moore, 7 catches, 96 yards and a touchdown. The defense for Chicago, they sold once again. 31 points allowed, 2 sacks, 3 interceptions, and a fumble recovery. Matt Eberflus is he's just not a head coach, dude. He's just not. He shows no emotion. I don't know what quality he has that gets people excited to play for him. I don't see it. I don't know what it is that people like about him to get motivated, to get ready to to run through a wall for him. I don't see it. I think he's just a dull, poker face personality that just makes you go, all right, let's just show up and get it done. The Chicago Bears blew a 26-14 lead at one point with less than 5 minutes to go in the game. And the Lions came back and beat them. This is the Bears, guys. This is the Bears. Okay? They're not a good football team. Fumble, safety, big differences in the game. 5 of 13 on third down, not very good. 6 penalties, 1 for 2 in the red zone. They're lucky they're going to get that first pick because Carolina's awful. Although I hope Carolina wins because my Patriots need that number 1 pick in the worst way possible because we suck. I just need Carolina to win so bad. And Arizona. I forgot about that. Which brings me to the Lions. Jared Goff, you fucking had to throw 3 picks this game. You had to throw 3 picks this game, right? In a game where, not any. In a fantasy week where I'm playing the worst team in my league, and you throw 3 picks. He wasn't the only one that did bad. Don't get it twisted. We got somebody in the Eagles-Chief game that sold me too. And he should have did way better than what he posted. Jared Goff at least got close to his projection, despite throwing 3 picks. Okay? We got somebody else we're going to be calling out later. Because he posted a way worse showing than that. But Jared Goff, 3 picks, man. Come on, man. That's not good. 23 of 35, 236 yards. He did throw 2 touchdowns late. I get it. But 3 picks, man. Come on, man. You had to sell me in fantasy this week. The Bears. Come on, Goff. David Montgomery, 12 carries, 76 yards and a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, 8 carries, 36 yards and a touchdown. He caught some passes out of the backfield. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 8 catches, 77 yards and a touchdown. Jamison Williams had a receiving touchdown. Got them back in the game. The Detroit Lions defense, the one unit I'm a little worried when this team makes a pretty good run in the playoffs. 26 points allowed, a fumble recovery, 2 sacks. I like what Aaron Glenn is doing. I just don't trust it if they have to play San Francisco in San Francisco or in Philly. I don't think that defense can hold up against those teams. Now, if it's in Detroit, they got a chance. I just wouldn't love it still. Because I think the Lions are not a bad team. I really don't think they're a bad team. I think they're one major defensive piece away from going, yeah, they're in the class with the Eagles and the Niners. I think they are this year because of how well they're playing and what their offense can do. Their offense can score and they can run the ball and they can throw. They're complete offense. Their defense worries me. If Aaron Glenn can get them to, play, better and keep it to where, their offense can score, but they don't be the unit that sells them the game, they can be fine. I really like this Lions team. I said, I like them to win the North. I think they can make a very deep playoff run. I really do. But you're going to need that 2 seed over to the Niners because if you have to go to San Francisco in the second round, I don't like their chances. As well as I think this team is, and I love where they're trending, I just think they need that 2 seed more than people think. They're 1 game behind Philly. That's a big deal. If they can get, the 1 or 2 seed, I think they can hold up and make a deep run. But it's going to be tough to get that 1 seed from Philly. I think the 2 seed's more likely for them. They had the interception, 2 killer plays in the first half. The fumble, no go. Interception, again. Those were the big missed opportunities. They should not have, been able to dig themselves too deep of a hole. Luckily, though, they were able to overcome it, and the Bears just imploded. But 8 of 11 on third down is really good. But 4 turnovers. It is very rare in this league. You win a game committing 4 turnovers. It's very rare. The Lions, get out of those habits. You don't want to be a team that starts to turn the ball over at a high level. You will not win against the good teams in the playoffs. Trust me, this is a young team. I'm confident Dan Campbell can reinforce that message in the locker room. I just think this team needs to be very careful because this is a game. I know it's division rival. They play each other tough. 4 turnovers, you're not going to win a lot of football games doing that. Trust me. There's that fine line. You just got to stay clean, but you also got to be the team that, just can be able to overcome a mistake, but, and just hold on to win that game. Because the good teams know how to overcome when they make a mistake and move on to the next series and be able to convert on that. I don't know if this team's got that yet, but I'm sure that they are going to get that fixed by the time playoffs come because I think the lines are going to be okay. Seahawks-Rams. So, the Rams swept Seattle. Who would have thought? I didn't actually have this. I did say, though, I did like the Rams a little this week. If they were getting points. But I didn't know they were, I think I said they were favored. And Gino, I'm going to get to him actually right now. 22 of 34, 233 yards, a touchdown. I don't think he played bad, but like I said, I think he's just an all right quarterback. I do. DK Metcalf, 5 catches, 94 yards and a touchdown. We know what he does. I mean, now he's trying to go silent, sign language trash talk. Really? Really, DK? You're that petty? Grow up. Tyler Lockett, 5 catches, 55 yards, I think it was, 51. Defense, 17 points allowed, a sack and interception. They played pretty well to win this game. The offense could not score more than 20. And Seattle, I think, is getting better defensively. And they have the playmakers offensively to do it. Their offensive line's getting better. Their running game really did not show up and make a lot of plays for them. All right? INT, missed field goal. That was a big difference in that game because Jason Myers, he's known for a leg, but 55 yards. Oh, just hurts, man. I mean, that's a loss you're going to look back and go, damn, that could be the difference between us maybe winning the division and us maybe being, the 5 seed instead of the 6 seed. You got to factor in stuff like that, man. But, I saw the play today. They ran the ball before they spiked it and kicked it. I didn't like that call at all by Pete Carroll and company. I didn't like that at all whatsoever. 5 for 15 on third down, 1 for 2 in the red zone. 12 penalties for 130 yards and 1 turnover. 12 penalties for 130 yards. Now, Pete Carroll, I know they go over penalties over there. That's a lot of penalties for a lot of penalty yards. That's an undisciplined game right there. And I know Pete Carroll's a great coach. That number is ridiculously high as far as penalties go. You've got to keep control of your football team in close games. You cannot commit 12 penalties for 130 yards. That was a big reason you guys lost by 1. You will not win games committing a lot of penalties. All right? That is an absolute no-no. Matt Stafford, 17 of 31. 190 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Played okay. I wouldn't say amazing, but he played okay. Royce Freeman, 17 carries, 73 yards. Never would have thought he would have been the bell cow. Darrell Henderson Jr. had the rushing touchdown. Nakua, 5 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown. His first game back, I think, off the injury. Defense, 16 points allowed, 2 sacks, and interception. The Rams' defense this game played really well. I didn't think they'd hold Seattle under 20. They did. And, Sean McVay is a very good competitive team. That's 4-6. I think they're 2 out behind the Vikings with 7 to go. And I think they're the one team that I think if Minnesota ever starts to, fall apart on that 7th seed, I wouldn't bet out the Rams. I have questions about Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta's good. I have, questions about Washington protecting Sam Howell. And I'm trying to think of everybody else in the. I'm not sold on Tampa. Okay, don't get me started with the Packers and Jordan Love. I think it comes down to the Vikings and Rams for the 7th spot. And I think Minnesota eventually might end up getting it, depending on when Jefferson gets back. But I wouldn't rule out the Rams just yet. They've been a competitive 4-6 team, and they're 2 out with 7 to go. I won't rule them out. No way. All right? 5 for 15 on 3rd down. 1 for 2 in the red zone. Turnover on downs and interception with the missed opportunities they had. 2 of 9 on 3rd down. That's not great. That's actually horrible. Under 25% on 3rd down. Not good. 2 of 4 in the red zone. Got to work on that. 9 penalties for 92 yards. You got to be careful when you commit those penalties because you get in that 9 to 10 range, that's a lot. 92 yards is a lot of penalties. You've got to be disciplined as a football team if you expect to be competing in January for the playoffs. You can't be undisciplined at this time of the year. You got to be a little bit more smarter, at this time of the year. Vikings-Broncos. I watched this game because I had some action and I had an opponent with Cortland Sutton and I had Vikings defense. And let's just say the Vikings defense did not help, which I needed them for 1 week because I had no defense because my main one was on bye week and I didn't trust Philly's defense against Kansas City. That was on me. But I really didn't think the Eagles would shut down Kansas City to 17, if you were to be honest. Josh Dobbs, 20 of 32, 221 yards, a touchdown and a pick. He played pretty good first half. But then the second half, he had that one bad pick, and he started to fall apart in that second half and showed why he, was kind of a backup from the beginning. He had a rushing touchdown. Madison and Chandler, they did a good job running the football for the Vikings. I think they had about 155 yards on the ground and almost 30 carries between the two of them. That's a nice, little formula O'Connell's got, with, mixing up the backs and, trying to give them, fresh bodies on that defense. And then, letting Osborne and Addison and those receivers do their thing. Josh Oliver had a receiving touchdown. The defense, I like Brian Flores. I think he deserves a second head coaching job. I know he didn't get a fair shot in Miami because Stephen Ross had tried to make him lose games on purpose. But Brian Flores, you got to get out of cover zero when that team's moving the ball on you. You've got to be ready to change looks. And I know he's a really good defensive coach. That was inexcusable on that last touchdown. You got to be able to protect the end zone at all costs. And you just can't do that. That is an absolute no-no. But, of course, Cortland Sutton has to fucking ruin my fantasy week. Okay? He's got to ruin it on the last drive of the game, right? A lot of missed out. 2 sacks. They got some missed opportunities. They had the fumble Dobbs had, which, was a clean hit, I thought. Another fumble that, I think Madison had. That was just, a bad timing because that was in Denver territory. That was a big play in the game that changed. INT, a turnover on downs. The Vikings, they used to be really good in one-score games last year. It's not quite the same this year. It's been a battle to win those close games. 6 of 15 on 3rd down, 2 of 4 in the red zone. 6 penalties, 3 turnovers. Yeah, it sucks, when you're the hottest team in the league before you lose Sunday and then you see it evaporate. But your little things did not help you win this game. And there's correctable issues. They got a full week to do this and get this corrected. Possibly a survivor pick. I'm kind of debating between them and the Ravens against the Chargers because it's a really tough survivor week this week. All the kind of the good options I did have, I used early in the season. So this is where it gets really tough, where you have to kind of really be smart in who you have left. And I hope the Vikes can beat Chicago because I might lean them for survivor. But it's them or the Ravens. I'll give you guys a hint. I almost went with the Rams a little bit, but I'm a little scared because Kyler Murray is playing good for Arizona. I don't want to take the Rams yet. So I'm going to just say as a hint, it might be the Vikings. It might be the Vikings or the Ravens, depending on who that's going to go. But O'Connell, they got to get some, the little things cleaned up in time for Monday night and not cost me Survivor if I take that. The Broncos, 27-35, 259 yards, a touchdown. Cortland Sutton, 4 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown. Thanks for ruining my fantasy week, Cortland Sutton. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Defense, 20 points allowed, 2 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, 2 fumble recoveries, and a pick. If you were to tell me that this Broncos defense, after 4 weeks of the season, would then hold their next 6 opponents to an average of 17 points a game, I'd be like, what? How? Would Vance Joseph calling plays? I don't see it. This defense has played much better. It was a fire sale at the trade deadline, and they've played well. I have to give them their credit. They're playing they're playing hot right now in football. I think they got the longest active winning streak in the NFL now as a result of this game. So Denver's playing good football. But again, there's still areas left to improve. I trust Sean Payton to get this stuff fixed. And, they've got a favorable schedule going the rest of the way. The Chargers twice, the Raiders once, New England. Don't get me started. They're going to beat New England. Christmas Eve. I'm not watching. Thank you. So I think Denver can make a serious run because they're playing good football right now. 2 of 12 on third down. That needs work. 1 for 5 in the red zone. That really needs work. Sean Payton, I'm sure, is making that a point of emphasis this week. Red zone and third down need to be better. And Russ, has been improving. He got a lot of heat last year. We gave him a lot of heat on the show. He's playing good. I won't say great. I think Sean Payton's been the biggest difference because Nathaniel Hackett left that team so bad, and now look at him with the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, you sure you want him on your team? Because he is the worst offensive coordinator I have ever seen, probably ever. And we'll get to the Jets when we pick the game. But, Denver, they're the hottest team in football right now. I think, I'm looking at my picture. I might lean them in this next game they're playing. I might, because they're playing really good football right now. Oh, great. Now we get to the game I really want to talk about. The Eagles and Chiefs. How are we doing, Chief Bandwagons? I'm glad you've made it this long. I'm really glad. It shows you actually care about my show. Thank you so, so much. It really means a lot. But, oh no, we're not going to let you off the hook. But, Eagles fans, I'm sorry, but I gotta vent some frustrations here. Because I didn't like some things I saw Monday night. Jalen Hurts, 14-22, 150 yards and an interception. 2 rushing touchdowns. I think he needs to do a better job of seeing the field better. What do you mean by that, Rich? There were a lot of plays where he just was staring too far up downfield. He didn't even feel any pressure coming from the edges. And I almost think, I don't want to say he was oblivious, because that's actually the opposite. He just did not handle pressure at all well in this game from the Chiefs. He did not throw the ball away, and I'm screaming multiple times at my TV, throw the ball away. That pressure, that ball has to get out because the pressure is closing in. You got to get that ball out. Now that ball's got to come out. Okay? He held the ball too long. He's staring downfield, and I'm screaming, throw the ball away, because that defender is closing out to try to sack him and possibly make a play on a strip sack. You've got to get rid of the ball and stop staring downfield. And he did that so much in the first half where I'm screaming, throw the ball away. In the second half, they kind of, did some dumb, screens with Sirianni. And I'm going to get to Sirianni in a minute. But, they ran with Jalen Hurts, which helped a little bit. But, they had the big, they had some rushing touchdowns that helped. The one actually, not the tush push. The other one that actually went well in their favor. But I didn't really think their quarterback running game really did well. Now, maybe that's because he is banged up a little bit. But I just did not think Jalen Hurts played that well this game. Which brings me to Nick Sirianni's play calling. I don't know what game plan you guys had in that second half, but that was some of the worst play calling I have seen despite you winning the game. Can you tell me why you're throwing a screen in the teeth of the defense when you got a defensive lineman going up like this trying to swat the ball? And you're trying to throw the ball into the teeth of the defender trying to swat the ball. Can you tell me why you're throwing a screen there when you're basically getting 2 yards off it? What the fuck is your play calling, Sirianni? Like, you made a couple play calls where I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? And I'm like dumbfounded because I'm like, what the fuck is this team doing? Which brings me to my next point. A.J. Brown had 1 catch for 8 yards. And he's on my fantasy team. And we've called him out on the show for, complaining when it's not his day and stuff. I'm not blaming him for this. I'm blaming the coaching staff for not finding ways to get him the ball. Now, the one play where Hurts did underthrow him, that's not A.J. Brown's fault. That's the pressure. That's Jalen Hurts underthrowing. A.J. Brown beat L'Jarius Sneed for a touchdown. He had him beat. Hurts underthrew him. Okay? That was not an A.J. Brown. I'm not blaming him for that. I'm not blaming him for 1 catch for 8 yards. I'm blaming Nick Sirianni. You've got to get your best player of the football in a variety of different ways. You didn't do that. Now, it might have been a good job by Spags taking him away. But as an offensive play caller, you've got to put your best players in the best situations to win games. I don't think he did that for A.J. Brown this week. I did not like that game plan at all. I understand Devontae had his day. I get that. They were letting Devontae, go off. But you got to find ways to get A.J. Brown the ball more than just 1 catch for 8 yards. That's inexcusable. Okay? And that's coaching to me. And listen, I don't like Sirianni for a couple things. I think, he kind of comes off as like a very big showboat and, he tries to, kind of flex, a little too much. And I think he embraces being the villain, which I think Philly loves. But I think, it kind of comes off as this almost like this like arrogant, cocky little, shit that, people want to put in his place. And I get, he's a competitive, fiery guy and all that. But there's the levels to being a jerk and an asshole and a piece of shit. And then there's levels to just being competitive and staying in between the lines. I think he embraces being that villain role. But my thing is, he's a little over the top. And I think he comes off as very smuggy and showboaty, where I'm like, dude, you're a grown-ass man. You got to be a professional. You're coaching men, not high school kids, not college kids. Okay? Come on, man. All right? Enough's enough. I did like, though, to be honest, I did like what he said to the Chiefs fans in the tunnel. I can't lie. I did. Okay? But other than that, yeah, he's a little too much. Okay? DeAndre Swift, 12 carries, 76 yards, a touchdown. Caught some big plays out of the backfield, too. He did good for me in fantasy. Almost 20 points. Devontae Smith, we mentioned, 6 catches, 99 yards. The offensive line had a rough day. Arguably the best line in football. Had a rough game. And I think it was Lane Johnson who gave up a sack. I think Mailata gave up one. I think the right guard gave up one. They had a hard time blocking Chris Jones a couple times. They had a rough night, that offensive line. And it's going to happen once in a while. I get that. But this Eagles line, a lot of people are going to start looking like what the Chiefs are doing to frustrate them. And they're playing teams like Buffalo that has a good front. Dallas, that's coming up. The 49ers coming up. they need to really, really pick up their level of play because their offensive line struggled in this ball game, and they've got to play better. And I know they will, but that game was a very bad sign that they played well. But I trust that offensive line coaching staff to get that area fixed. They're a well veteran line. They got 2 Hall of Famers on that line. I trust that they'll get that stuff fixed. The defense, 17 points allowed, a fumble recovery, a pick, a sack. I think that they did pretty well holding Mahomes and company to 17. If you were to tell me that you hold Mahomes and company to 0 points in the second half, you get a red zone pick, a fumble off Travis Kelce, you'd win the game. And, I think they've gotten criticized, to be fair. They almost gave up the game-winning touchdown, but they held their own. And I don't think they're as good as last year. But they're winning ugly, and they're fine with winning ugly. And that's something that I think they're okay with. And I think that they'll be fine. I think they'll get to the playoffs. But I think they're going to be, struggling a little bit because they haven't looked like the dominant team that, they were last year. But, they just look like they're kind of just barely hanging on and escaping for wins. But I think that's a good thing sometimes. The interception is the lone missed opportunity. That could have been, some scoring points early in the game, but they were able to recover from that. 3 of 11 on third down, not really great. 7 penalties. That's got to get cleaned up a bit. Now we get to my favorite part. The Chiefs bandwagons. Trying to battle through the cough here. So, what's our excuse now? You still going to blame those receivers? You going to blame Andy Reid? You still going to blame Matt Nagy for calling plays? Really? Really? What's our excuses? I just want to know. Because you got none today. What did I tell you weeks ago? You're not going to beat these good teams. You've got bigger flaws that are starting to unravel. Miami, you scored no points in the second half. You scored no points in the second half this week. You guys looking like you're struggling a little bit. Okay then. Guess what I heard though? Chief bandwagons, you're not going to like this. I'm hearing people say, Mahomes is finally learning how it's like to play with average receivers, and yet he has a top 5 defense, but he can't overcome that. That is a factual statement. He can't. He cannot overcome bad receivers, and yet he has his best defense he's ever had, and you can't overcome it. You can't even score points in the second half against good teams. I predicted this. You guys are in a heap of trouble. Okay? Because I know my guy was able to overcome that with Troy Brown and David Pattons and Deion Branches and Daniel Grams, Kevin Falks. These guys are casuals, people said. Right? But the Chiefs, even washed up Travis Kelce, people say, is a casual. I don't think he is. Mahomes is a better receiving group than Brady had, early on when he won his first 3 Super Bowls. But people are like, oh, Brady's a game manager. The defense is carrying him. The defense is carrying Mahomes, and yet Mahomes can't overcome it with bad receivers. Well, why is that? Well, why is that then? He's supposed to be this guy the media is proclaiming to be the next him. Why can't he overcome it then? You guys keep telling us he's the guy, right or wrong. You guys kept telling us this. Well, why not then? Let's answer the question. Why? Because he can't. He can't do it. Because he's not that guy. No. No, my guy overcame that 3 years when he won Super Bowls, and everybody said that defense carried him. He's a game manager. The defense won the first 3. Did the defense win him that Super Bowl against Carolina? No, because guess who had to come right back down and make a game-winning drive? Tom Brady did. What was the score of that Super Bowl? 32-29. Oh, so the defense won by giving up 29 points? I'm confused. Where? Because last I checked, Jake Delhomme was throwing deep balls to Musa Muhammad and Steve Smith left and right in that Super Bowl. Ricky Prohl, you remember him? Yeah, he threw one to him too. Yeah. So did the defense win him that Super Bowl? No, he didn't. So don't use that argument with me. No, don't use that argument with me. Oh no, we're not gonna pull that. But like I said, and I've seen clips of Mahomes asking Blaine Gabbert all the time. Oh, how did Tom do it and stuff? Mahomes, let me tell you something. Don't be Tom Brady because you're not him. You're not Tom Brady. You won't be. Okay? Don't even think about it. Okay? My guy has done things that I've seen nobody else do. Okay? Don't even go there, Mahomes. You'll be great. You'll be a top 10 all-time quarterback when your career's done. Okay? Maybe top 5. But right now, you cannot Let me tell you what, America. He can't do what Brady did. He can't overcome horrible receivers or casual receivers, and yet the defense is carrying him, and he still can't overcome it, even when his defense is the best unit of that team. Oh, man. I love it today. I love it. I love it today. Oh, gee, bandwagon talk. I get triggered. I love it. I love when I trigger you guys. I love it. But here's the stats. Oh, man. Here we go. This is my favorite part. 24-43 for 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. Whoa. 24-43 for 177 yards and 2 touchdowns and a pick. Let's get to the yards. 177 for the guy everybody wants to proclaim the next Brady. Whoa. If anybody else threw for 177 yards, they're not that good, Rich. See, they're an average quarterback. So what are we going to say when Mahomes throws for 177? That's not a good game by his standards. Did you see the red zone pick? He lobbed that ball. Why are you lobbing that ball? You had him open. Bullet him. Nope. Lob. Kevin Byard. Right in my hands. Holy cow, he threw it right to me. He threw a red zone pick. Does anybody want to talk about that, though? Wait. Are we going to talk about that red zone pick? Are we? Because I want to talk about it. He lobbed that ball. No excuse. That was a big play in the game. Okay? That was one of those big plays in the game. All right? Pacheco, 19 carries, 89 yards. Justin Watson, he had a good day. 5 catches, 53 yards and a touchdown. Travis Kelce, 7 catches, 44 yards and a touchdown. The defense gave up 21. I mean, in today's league, that's not terrible. Your offense should be able to score more than, 21 points. And Valdez-Scantling dropped the pass. It happens, though. But here's the thing. Everybody destroyed Jimmy Garoppolo when he dropped that ball right in Kendrick Bourne's hand. Everybody blamed Jimmy Garoppolo for overthrowing Kendrick Bourne for the touchdown. Why are we blaming Mahomes for MVS? But he can't throw and catch it to those receivers. Whoa. But you killed Jimmy Garoppolo for throwing it to Kendrick Bourne and for him dropping a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Why did we blame Jimmy Garoppolo in the Super Bowl? Why? But we're not going to blame Mahomes for dropping that to Valdez-Scantling. The same exact thing. Literally. The same exact thing. All right. Because the media doesn't want to protect their, new favorite little golden boy. I forgot. That's why you won't talk about it. But we will. On this show, we will. Because it's my show. I control what I talk about here. Okay? That's right. We talk about it on this show. Not like the freaking ESPNs where they try to protect him. And the first things first with fucking Nick Wright. And I don't want to hear his lame excuses. When they lose in the playoffs, we're going to have a ball. Trust me, America, we got a great celebration if they lose in the playoffs, okay? We do, okay? 5 sacks the Chiefs defense got, a pick. Now let's get to the missed opportunities. Interception, fumble, turnover and downs. We talked about the pick, the fumble. I'm going to be honest here, okay? Every great player is going to fumble. It happens. Even at the absolute worst timing. My father told me this. Travis Kelce fumbled. It happens. Every great player is going to fumble once in a while in their career. Right? Unfortunately, you know, it ended up going against them this week. But again, why am I surprised? It adds to their struggles, man. 8 of 17 on third down. Pretty good. Yet you still lost. 2 for 4 in the red zone. The fumble and the pick. That's why you were 2 for 4. 7 penalties and 2 turnovers. Let me tell you something, Chief Bandwagons. You are so lucky Joe Burrow's out for the season and the Bills are struggling because you fucking lucky asses get the fucking most favorable cupcake schedules. I won't be surprised if you have that 1 seed. I really won't. But I hope you don't get it. I hope you don't get it because I want to see if they have to go on the road and actually face a real tough road environment. Because Mahomes has never had to play a road game. And I want him to see if he can play a road game. I'll tell you this, though. They're not better than the Ravens. They're not better than the Jaguars right now. Oh, no. They're not better than those teams. And you better hope Buffalo doesn't stay hot because if Buffalo stays hot, that's another team you got to worry about. And you're playing Buffalo soon anyway. But you're lucky it's in Arrowhead because you get every game in Arrowhead, it feels like, for the hell of, you know. But, Chief Bandwagons, start sweating. You're so lucky you get cupcake schedules. But let me tell you something. You better start sweating because y'all don't look good right now. Y'all don't look good right now. And guess what? I love it. I love it because I'm waiting for the fall. The fall's going to be so epic and so beautiful. I know it. Everything I said today is so factual in so many ways. Just wait, man. I know it's going to happen. Okay? I got you, Chief Bandwagon Sugar, and I love it. I love it. All right. Let's go Week 12 picks. Let's start off with the Thanksgiving Day action. Lions-Packers. We're going to go rapid fire Week 12 picks. I trust the Lions more than Jordan Love. All right? I think the Lions are playing really good ball. And I just think that Dan Campbell and company, they are on a mission. They are trying to go to 9-2. And I think they want to wrap up the North and clinch that division. Give me the Detroit Lions 24-13 over the Packers to start Thanksgiving Day off. Cowboys-Commanders. I don't like how this is a 14-point spread right now. I don't like this. I would take the 14. I think it's too high. If you're wondering where I'm getting the 14, I think ESPN Bet, had it at 14. But like I said, I think it's a way too high of a number. I think Washington could stay in this game. But I do think the Cowboys end up winning this game. I've got the Cowboys 31, Washington 27. They hold on, and they win on Thanksgiving Day. Niners-Seahawks. Oh, that's a good game, man. In Seattle. I'm going to trust the team I trust the most. I trust the 49ers. I trust Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan to figure out a game plan to beat the Seahawks defense. I understand Seattle is the 12th man, and I understand, they're coming off a tough loss. This is where we're going to see what Seattle's really made of, starting with this game. Can they beat the really good teams? Division rivalry, I know they play each other tough. I've got to right around what, the spread is at. Give me the 49ers to win 27-20 over Seattle. I think they do just enough to hang on and win this football game. Miami Jets on Black Friday. Oh, please. Tim Boyle. Miami, you should win this game. I'm not sure if I'm even going to watch this game. Okay? Give me Miami 23-9 over the Jets. I don't think Tim Boyle and them score anything. I think Nathaniel Hackett's the worst offensive coordinator in the history of the NFL. Alan Lazard has not panned out what they wanted him to be. Dalvin Cook has not been what they think the role players should be. Aaron Rodgers, you wanted all these guys, and, they suck. So your wish list has not gone well so far, although you've been hurt. I wouldn't rush back if I were you. Not with how bad that line is. Miami 23, the Jets 9. Giants, Patriots, bro. I have not watched a Patriots game for 4 weeks. Really 5 if you include the bye week. I was glad I didn't have to enjoy them on my birthday this past Sunday. I'm really glad I didn't have to do that. Because I'm not mad. I'm still not watching. I've got something to do, actually, the same time this game goes off. So, in a way, I'm glad I'm not watching. But I want us to get the number 1 draft pick. So I hope, for once, the Giants beat us. Give me the Giants 16, New England 10. Steelers, Bengals. I would have leaned Cincy if Joe Burrow was going to play. Before I found out last episode he got hurt. But, unfortunately, it's Jake Browning. Steelers fired their offensive coordinator. I just think Cincinnati is in for a rough 7-game stretch to end the season. Give me Pittsburgh, 20-6 over the Bengals. I think the Steelers, they get enough. They hold up. They get rid of Matt Canada. I think you're going to see some creativity, maybe a big play on offense. I got the Steelers 20-6 over the Bengals, and they move on to 7-4 on the season. Texans, Jaguars. Call me crazy, but don't the Texans have the Jaguars number for some weird reason? Yet Jacksonville's favored by 2 in Houston. How does that work? Tell me. I'm taking the Texans, man. I think the Texans, can beat Jacksonville. For some reason, they have Jacksonville's number. C.J. Stroud's playing excellent ball. He threw 3 picks, and they held on to win. I don't think he's going to do that again. Give me the Texans, 27-24 over the Jaguars. Colts, Tampa Bay. I like Shane Steichen's team. I think they're more trustable. I think they're more dependable than Todd Bowles is. I think Shane Steichen's doing a hell of a job with Gardner Minshew and this team. I think they can run the ball with Moss and Taylor really well. Pittman's not a nice receiver. I think the Colts do enough to beat Tampa Bay, and they move to 6-5. Give me the Colts, 26, Tampa Bay 23. Saints, Falcons. Desmond Ridder's coming back to start. I don't love this. A lot of Falcons fans are like, oh, let's see, maybe this is a good opportunity for him. Let him finish the year out. I don't love this. I think Heineke did pretty good for them. I think their defense sold them. So I like the Saints, 23-10 over Atlanta. I think that Desmond Ridder is just not good. And the Falcons keep trying to think they have something with him. They don't. Saints 23, Falcons 10. Panthers, Titans. I'm going big. I got to try upsets. I need some rooting interest. I need the Panthers to win. I want New England to get this number 1 draft pick so bad because we need it in the worst way possible. Carolina, please upset Tennessee. Panthers 17, Titans 13. I don't love this, but I need something to root for. Give me the Panthers 17, Titans 13. Rams, Cardinals. Sneaky high-scoring game a little bit here. All right? I think the Rams are going to score, but I think the Cardinals are going to score on the Rams as well. I think this is one of those weird, they really scored, both teams, a lot of points. Yes, it's going to be one of those weird games. Give me the Rams 30, the Cardinals 24. Broncos, Browns. Browns got to travel from Cleveland to Mile High. With really a third-string quarterback. I know the defense has been playing well, but Denver is playing good ball. And I think that this is a coin flip game. But I just think Denver is going to take away the run, and they're going to force DTR or PJ Walker to beat them. And I just think that I trust Russell Wilson and Sean Payton a little more than Cleveland. Give me Denver 23, Cleveland 20. Chiefs and Las Vegas Raiders. Like I said, Chiefs bandwagons, you are so lucky the NFL gives you the most easiest cupcake schedule to try to get your 1 seed. You are so lucky. It's like they really want you in the Super Bowl. It's really like they want you in the Super Bowl. It's sad. It's so unbearable. I don't think the Raiders are that good. I don't think they can hang with Kansas City. But I do think this game is a little bit below what people think it's going to be. Give me the Chiefs 26, the Raiders 14. Eagles, Bills. I'm going to try to watch this game. I've got some things going on, Sunday that I have to take care of. But I think it's a tall order to go for Buffalo to go into Philly and win. I think it's a tall order. I think they're capable of doing it. I just don't think they can because it's a tough order. I think Philly's going to bounce back. I think the Eagles are going to win 28-24 over the Bills. I think Jalen Hurts makes a couple nice plays, and I think that Eagles defense gets the one takeaway on Josh Allen that decides the football game. Ravens-Chargers. Mark Andrews is out. I'm a little skeptical of this, but two coaches I hate analytics. All right? Two coaches I hate, as far as analytics go. But as far as who I think I trust more to win this game, I definitely trust John Harbaugh to win this game. I think the Ravens are going to probably keep everything in front of Justin Herbert, prevent him from making big plays. I got the Ravens 28. I got the Chargers 17. Vikings-Bears. Possible survivor pick here. I like the Vikings to bounce back. I hope Jefferson comes back in place because I think they're going to need him. I think he would definitely help Addison in that offense. I think the Bears will keep it close because it's division rivalry. But I think the Vikings do enough to just hang on and hold on to this football game, and they win and go to 7-4. Give me the Vikings 20, Chicago Bears 20. All right, that's our Week 13 picks. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so that way you guys can get all the latest updates and notifications when we go make episodes during the NFL season. All right, make sure you guys follow at Loungetime Pod on X, where I do tweet some of the action on Thursday night games. It won't be this week, but we'll do it next week. Okay? Even I may tweet out some NFL thoughts. Heck, if you tweet at us, we might talk about it on our show. All right? Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Loungetime. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving to you and all of your families. And I will see you guys next week on the next episode of Loungetime. Have a great week, Thanksgiving weekend, everybody.